Pavlova has trained her pet snake as a killing machine. There, on the floor, you will observe a saucer of milk. The promise of food is key to training any creature. Wait, incredible! You solved the mystery! Amazing! Your great deduction really lives up to its name. I can see why Sherlock Holmes has become such a household name. My dear man, it's nothing remarkable. As the Russians say, I could have done it with one left hand. Could I venture an opinion, Mr. Holmes? But of course, what is on your mind? It's just, by your deductions before, some things don't quite make sense to me. I welcome questions as to my method, and I will answer both loudly and proudly. Oh, well, good. First of all, snakes are egg-laying creatures, part of the reptile family. You are well informed, madame. And reptiles, don't drink milk. It's really only mammals that like to drink milk, you see. What? No, mammals don't like milk, no way. Definitely don't have a cup of milk right there. So, I'm not sure it'd be possible to train a snake using milk as well. No matter. No doubt Miss Pavlova used some other treat to encourage her pet to do her bidding. Milk was merely an example. The logic holds. Well, there's something else. Snakes have no ears. Yes, so I'm not sure it would really be possible to signal to a snake by whistle. But madame, what of the tales of Arabia? Have you not heard of the snake that dances to the sound of a flute? I think perhaps the performers play their music in time with the snake's natural movements. Oh, I see. No hands, no feet, no ears. These creatures are so inept, could practically be useless. Don't take it out on the snakes, Mr. Jones. There's one other thing. You have more? Snakes use the scales under their bellies to propel themselves. So, I'm not really sure a snake could manage to climb a flat bell cord like the ones on the cabin. Then it should try harder. Please, don't be angry with me, Mr. Jones. The point is, even if the snake had gone through the vent next to the cabin, it couldn't have come back without help. What I'm trying to say, there are a number of reasons why it's difficult to imagine the snake could have had a part in this. No, he's on the money. He's on the money. He's just got a couple things wrong. We got this. I think we need to step in and help again, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, you don't mean... Yes, we need to modify Mr. Sholmes' latest detections and turn them into the great ones they ought to be. I had a feeling that was coming. Alright, let's give it a try. That was just what I was waiting for, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes? Right? So, cast your eyes down on your wrists again. What? How does he do it? You've done it again? Your handcuffs are gone. Where did they go? Fear not. I shall see how they're restored after work is done. I really wish you'd leave them off. Now, everyone, Let us begin. Sherlock Holmes is proud to present Logic and Reasoning Spectacular. Hold it, Mr. Holmes. Intruder's identity. Plus spectrums. Miss Pavlova, moments ago you claimed the fun. This has nothing to do with it. The whole thing is nothing to do with it. And yet, you cannot deceive yourself. Yes, you recall this horrid event. Aching heart, smart with pain. She should have a pain expression in her face. Yes, that's true. So looks as though Kazuma's death is weighing heavily on her mind. But you're not sure Mr. Holmes read her quite correctly, is that it? Should be some as a way to interpret her expression. Let's take a moment. Really look very closely at Miss Pavlova. Her hand. Wait. Huh? Painful wound on her. So the scratch made by some kind of swamp animal. Fairly recently, too. Well, whatever scratcher doesn't appear to be around.
Yes!
Yes, we recall this horrid event. That claw scratch marks this pain. Indeed, a simple observation reveals the wound is fresh. Miss Pavlova, did you in fact receive that scratch sometime last night? When I think about it, the young man who died next door feels so sad. And when I'm sad, the pain from this wound is worse. And it's that very pain that evidences your inextricable link to the victim's death. So we ask, what was the nature of the intruder that stole into the victim's cabin on that pretentious night? Why, naturally, it was that friend of yours we should speak of. As I suspected, there's a telltale glance. Without a doubt, it's your friend, the withering serpent we see before us. Seems like there's a scratch mark on the back of his Pavlova's hand. It's made by this friend of hers. Is it a cat? So what? Okay, there's a snake and there's a cat. Why is there both? Why does she have two pets? No, they don't. They're gonna have the feet for claws in my throat. Well, the snake isn't her pet. What is? What is the true identity? Follow her gaze. It's in that big bag that we were. It's in the big bag, right? Hey, look! Picture of her with a cat.
Yes!
Nope.
No?
Eventually.
I hate everything so much. Can't present a picture for me like, oh hey look, this little cat you keep looking at. This must be the solution. Nope, you present a picture frame, nope, sorry, that's not acceptable. You can't like point at a picture frame and be like, oh that's what you're looking at. No, you gotta examine the picture. That creature she's holding caught my eye.
Yes!
Without a doubt, your friend is the little kitten we see before us. Yes! The scratch on the back of your hand makes that abundantly clear. Oh no. The whereabouts of the black cat isn't clear, but what is clear is that you brought an animal with you when you ran away, didn't you? Ah! Darka is my best friend. I couldn't leave her behind. Darka would appear to be a Russian blue. And yet, the fact leaves us in a quandary. The victim's written observations on the 19th question tell of a speckled bat. Resurrected. Specified marking does not fit that description in any way. What explanation can we then give, right? It was the sight that fell upon the victim's eye last night. No, don't look at me. It doesn't do us anything. Oh, but it does. You have the answer to the quantum now, hidden behind your back. Yes, that's what you were trying to do. Snakes slap your skin. Can you see that? She took something out of her pocket and hid it behind her back. If she just left it in her pocket, no one would have known. Yes, plays like that are Mr. Shum's specialty, even though he's so closely forced her to reveal something. So I introduced a speciality. Market employed. Anyway, I find it hard to believe that skin was. Which case is what is supposed to be behind your back. Speckled. It is a band, but it seems to be soft and fluffy. Long piece of colossus. It's like it has a handle of a cat's toy. Also, it's actually a cat, so she's trying to attract the cat back.
Yes!
Yes, the thing you were trying, but failing to conceal is, a cat's toy. Precisely, the true nature of the now infamous speckled bat. And it was this toy that you dangled screws of venom. You wanted to wave it around at me. Naturally, the victim could not fail to notice it. But why? For what reason? My dear boy, there can only be one answer to that. After her feline friend disappeared through the ventilator to the neighbor's cabin, Miss Pavlova attempted to use the speckled cat's toy to incite the creature to return. Ah. In summary, the nature of this friend of Miss Pavlova's last night infiltrated the scene of the crime. It's a blessed Russian blue breed of cat by the name of Darka. Kia! A truly troublesome feline Dark Guy is proving to be. She must be caged once found. You will forgive us for borrowing the photograph of your pet, Miss Pavlova. It was after I gave her her food last night. That's when it happened. She scratched the back of my hand and then ran up the bill cord. Before I could do anything, she had disappeared through the ventilator. Darka, she's so naughty. Okay. Moving on, we continue to the heart of the grim demise of the victim. How did this young man lose his life? And why? According to the data which I have been appeased, it would appear there were no visible signs of it. In fact, the circumstances of the victim's death can only be explained by a terrible venom. What Mr. Sholmes says is true. There were no signs of a wound anywhere on Kazuma's body, so it can't be a snake bite. Mr. Sholmes seems to be unaware of one very important detail. Kazuma wasn't poisoned. Yes, it would seem so. Let's give him information he's missing now.
Yes!
In fact, the circumstances of the victim's death can only be explained by the post-mortem report. Ah, yes. I knew it was one of those one or the other. His neck was... Indeed, the breaking of cerebral vertebrae is fatal. Only Goliaths would be strong enough to survive that. Seeming strong enough isn't some immortal freak, you know. The jury is out. Anyway, we have on good authority that the victim's neck was broken. Now, if we take that as fact, we can reasonably imagine there remains two evidence to affirm from it at the scene of the crime. Oh, could there be? Yes. Examination of deceased dead. Deceased's body will prove. Kazuma died because his neck was broken. In other words, he was probably struck by something or someone. Yes, there's a distinct possibility. As of yet, no weapon has been found though. Presumably, Darka didn't silently creep up behind Kazuma and deal a fatal blow. I suppose it's possible that he had a fall and hit the ground. Oh. Could have been a terrible act of misfortune and he broke his neck completely by accident. Oh yes, a bad fall could explain it. It's rather hard to believe Kazuma wasn't a clumsy man. We need to fix his deduction somehow. Is there anything from the scene that could explain what happened? Would be this mark on the floor?
Yes!
Yes. Examination of the mark on the floor will prove the cause of death conclusively. This particular mark, so prominently visible next to the victim's body, is a deposit of shoe polish. Shoe polish? Indeed, positively identified by a little analysis device I constructed, which I carry now as a matter of fact. Beeswax, tallow, dye were my results. Undeniable ingredients of shoe polish. And the color of the polish is a perfect match to the color of Mrs. Soki's laced leather shoes. Looking at this mark, it's not hard to imagine. For some reason, Mr. Sogi must have caught his foot at that point on the floor and tripped. Please, no. By a dreadful turn of misfortune, he caught his neck against some immovable object as he fell to the floor. Suffering a fatal blow to the spine, the victim's vertebrae shattered, and in that instant, he lost his life. No! I don't know. I don't know anything about this. Is that really true, Miss Pathfolder? What about the evidence left at the scene where Mrs. Silky lost his life? Yes, the facts are as clear as daytime, all to conceal the incriminating evidence. But now your involuntary glance betrays the hiding place you chose. That's right, you hid the evidence that links the victim to the traveling case. Don't believe it. Kazuno's mom really tripped over and now he's no more? Can't be true. I refuse to accept it. I know it's hard to believe, but the mark on the floor does seem to suggest what happened. But this is part of Mr. Sholmes' deduction, right? So Flo is trying to hide some evidence that would prove it. Here in this cabin, somewhere in the direction she just cast her eye. I wonder where. Let's go look around. The answer must be here somewhere. It could have to be the waste paper basket, right? Wait. So waste paper basket, perhaps a broken piece of glass, isn't it? Yes, it is. I feel like I've seen it somewhere before. Really, perhaps it's bordering mine. At least it is in that.
Yes!
That's right. You hid the evidence that links you to the victim's death in the waste paper basket. Here we have a fragment of some intricate glass object. One that has a familiar air. Precisely. We found another piece of broken glass on the floor in Mr. Usagi's room. And as you can see, two pieces fit together perfectly. Oh no! I wonder where that came from. So, Miss Pavlova, shall we consider what we tell? Why would it be that part of this glass object, which was eventually broken at the scene of the victim's death, should be found in the waste paper basket in your cabin? You're well acquainted with this glass veil, are you not? I don't know. I don't know. In the that hushed Russian accent of yours won't save you this time, Yoko. Why? Because we have conclusive evidence linking you to the bell in question. What? Take it away, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes. Evidence linking Miss Pavlova and the little glass bell. That would be...
Yes!
If you look at this photograph, you can clearly see, hanging from darkest collar, the very glass bell in question. Truce has caught up with you, Miss Pavlova. The young man who lost his life last night did so after a truly innocuous fall. And the cause of that faithful stumble? Your absent feline friend, Darka. I couldn't tell anyone. I'm sorry. Deduction complete. Elementary. Why don't you tell us now, Miss Pavlova? Tell us exactly what happened last night. It was a little after 1 in the morning. It was so late, but I hadn't had time to feed Darka, so I gave her some food. And then, all of a sudden, she scratched me and jumped out of my hands. People do say that cats become very anxious and nervous in new environments. She was so fast, she disappeared through the ventilator before I could stop her. And that is how you acquired your rather nasty wound on the back of your head. Yes. And I had read the rules on the wall. I knew I was not allowed to allow Darka with me. Yes, older science suggests that animals can carry infectious diseases. It's a precaution, really. So I listened and listened, trying to hear if there was some noise in the next cabin. It was very quiet. Sure, if someone was there, it must be sleeping. So at that point, I thought it was safe to lure the kitten back again. By dangling the end of this toy through the ventilator and into the adjoining cabin. Darka loves it, always loves this toy, but it didn't work. Nothing worked. I tried using her favorite toy, I tried whistling to her softly, nothing. She didn't return. So the faint whistling sound Kasama wrote about his diary, was Pavlova trying to retrieve her pet. Cats have a propensity to remain hidden in the shadows when frightened. Yes, so there was nothing else I could do. I just had to wait until she had calmed down. Then... I nearly passed out with shock. I heard her cry out, and then... Oh, it was such a dreadful bang. Then afterwards, nothing. It was totally silent. Kasama was... From the appearance of the brown mark on the floor, it seems likely what you heard was the victim stepping on the glass bell, tripping up. The Azabuya is a large vessel. Even she can't pinch and roll violently without falling. Mr. Asogi was already off balance as a result of the ship lurching when the kitten got under his feet. The combination of unfortunate factors could easily have caused him to fall over. This doesn't explain the Russian message. What became of the kitten afterwards? managed to get her to come back through the ventilator. Yet Darka is nowhere to be seen. I must have forgotten to lock my case. Now she's disappeared again. Gracious! Cat is insufferably restless as I am. Well, he knows something about himself at least. When I woke up this morning, I heard that a young man in the cabin next to mine had died, but I couldn't bring myself to tell anyone what had happened. I was too scared. Scared that they would send me back. Oh, hold on. What? What do you mean it's off? What do you mean it's off, you stupid bot? It's literally on, right here. What about the snake? You're right. Where is it? Snake isn't your friend, Miss Pavlova. But whose is it? And where did it come from? What on earth is such a dangerous creature doing aboard the ship? Oh, I didn't say. Snake is my friend. His name is Virozok. What? 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 That snake belongs to you? He escaped from cage when emergency alarm sounded. I was looking for him. I did not expect to find him here. Yes. How did that snake get into this cage? But animals are not permitted on board. Ha! We are at sea for 1 year. You want to be so long without close to friends, without someone who understands. Couldn't you find someone a little more human who understands you better? But my dear buddy fellow, a gargantuan venomous snake, surely you can appreciate the danger you're putting everyone. No venom. Vizorok does not have venom. He is harmless, very long but very gentle. He is adorable, like Granny. It's venomous? Yes. Now he is hungry, so he is in bad mood. But once I feed him, you will see big smile. And you feed him what? Milk, I suppose? Ha! Like they say they milk chicken. Ridiculous. Snakes that drink milk are only in stupid stories. Vizorok eats mouses. Big, fat, round mouses. Ah, oh, so... Is that what the mousetrap in a pest reactor is? Of course. How else can I get my friend's favorite food? Since it says top of the food chain, like, look in their eye. Look in their eyes right now. Poor Sholmes. I refuse to drink milk. I can't hear a whistle. I can't climb a milk cord. And it's not even venomous. How the deuce did I start? How the deuce did something so inept land a starring role? It's not my fault. I do not make up stories. My Vizorok has nothing to do with this. What do you mean up pretty late? I haven't been up. It's only midnight. Of course I still work tomorrow. It's Friday. So that's what happened. That's the truth behind my best friend's tragic death. Miss Pavlova? I understand the difficult situation you found yourself in, and I do sympathize. But please remember this. A young man lost his life. If you're going to attempt to cover up your guilt with lies, then no matter what the circumstances, I cannot forgive you. But... What are you talking about, Mrs. Mikotoba? What lies? Miss Pavlova just confessed everything. It was just a series of unfortunate events. An accident. No great detective like Sholmes, but I don't have a gift for knowing the truth. But even I can see that was not the truth. Don't you agree, Mr. Naruhodo? Perfectly honest, yes. There's a discrepancy in Miss Pavlova's story. I just can't quite put my finger on it. I confess. I was intending to let Scotland Yard deal with any outstanding issues on this matter. Oh? I am only present here for a very specific reason. The truth is, you, Mr. Naruhodo, are simply a distraction. A distraction? I do hope you've not been finding your shackles too uncomfortable. Especially as they are on your wrist as a result of my interversion. I was rather hoping I could resolve matters before we make our next port call. You were... Mr. Sholmes? Yes, but I overlooked one important detail. The deceased young man was a very close companion of yours. Was he not? Yes. Cosmo was my closest friend. I owed him my freedom. I owed him my freedom. In that case, we must follow this to its conclusion. No further distractions. We must uncover the real truth here, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, whatever that may be. The key to this is the discrepancy in Miss Pavlova's story, I'm sure. If I can chase that down, maybe the truth will become clear. Yeah, because we still haven't discussed, the writing on the floor. The truth about how you really died. About how that scene in your cabin really came to be. Alright, I see what I can do. Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Naruhodo. So then, shall we begin? Yes. What should we ponder first? Is the victim who lost his life in a cabin that was bolted shut from the inside? Was it truly an unfortunate accident? Or was it in fact no accident at all? That is what we must establish in the first instance. But we've already established it, haven't we? The man tripped over a kitten that had climbed into his cabin via a vent. Tragic, yes, but still an accident.
Hold it!
Wait, let's just take a step back. It doesn't make sense if that's really what happened, does it? I'm going to have to ask you to spell it out for me, I'm afraid. Yes, it's starting to take shape. There's a clear contradiction between the facts and the Pavlova's story. The evidence is right there in Cosmo's cabin. It's undeniable. This couldn't possibly have been a mere accident. Really? Let us show our hand, Mr. Naruhodo. Time to present the evidence. Evidence that proves unequivocally that the victim's death was no mere accident.
Yes!
The truth is clearly recorded in this photographic print. There's no way that Mr. Asogi could have left this message on the floor. That script, it's Russian, isn't it? Indeed it is. The word written means wardrobe. I see what you mean. Most people would leave a dyed message in their native language, Japanese in this case. But maybe he was studying Russian? Oh my gosh, just let out the truth, woman. It's a simple language. Could have picked it up very fast. Doesn't seem like it. It's actually not the point. It makes no difference whether he knew Russian or not. Sorry? What do you mean? Exactly what I said before. There's no way Mr. Sogi could have left this message on the floor. And the reason why is clearly explained here. Damage to the cerebral vertebrae resulting in instant death. Instant death. Ugh. Which means, after the victim fell to the floor, he couldn't possibly have written anything. Because he was already dead. That's not the only reason either. There's something else we found in Mr. Asogi's cabin. A remnant of something that couldn't possibly have been there. If what Miss Pavlova told us is true. What? So, Sato-san has noticed it too. Putting this message on the floor aside, there's something else that gives away. Another piece of evidence that proves this was no accident. Wait. Is it the bell piece? Because there's one missing.
Yes!
This. A piece of broken glass next to the mark on the floor. That's the glass bell the kid had around his neck. You already know all about that. Oh, it was broken in half when the victim tripped over the catapult. So we already have a satisfactory explanation with the flaw in logic. Unfortunately, there's a very big flaw. A fatal flaw. What? If that's really what happened, then how did one half of the bell end up back in here in this cabin? Yes, remember that we found the other half of the glass bell in a wastepaper basket. Would you care to explain that, Miss Pavlova? Oh no. Both of these pieces of evidence clearly point to the same conclusion. That when Mr. Asogi died last night in his cabin, there was someone else in it. And that same person deliberately arranged the scene to disguise the truth, in order to cover up his or her own guilt. Yeah. Yes, there was someone else present in Mr. Asogi.
Hold it!
You are wasting time. Someone else was there? Duh, of course we know this. What are you talking about? Bulkhead was bolted. Bulkhead was bolted shut from the inside. There was no way in or out. Oh, yes. There was. The only other person in the cabin was a young student that... young student died, wasn't you?
Yes!
True. But, true, I was in the cabin when it happened. You were shut inside the cabin, wardrobe. To be precise about the details. But, I don't know Russian. There's no way I could have left that message. Not would have. There's no way you could have left that message. To be precise about the details. Would you mind? Forgive me, my dear fellow. As I was saying, the person in question wrote the word wardrobe in Russian on the floor. attempt to incriminate me for the crime, even though I had been asleep in there the entire time. And then, the same person picked up the broken glass bell that had fallen to the floor, in fear of it becoming evidence that would show how Mr. Sogi really died. Why wouldn't this person have taken all the pieces of the bell anyway? Leaving half the bell was always going to raise questions. Yes, well, it was past 1 o'clock in the early hours of the morning. The cabin would have been quite dark. A single one lamp suspended above the ceiling would barely have cast any light onto the floor there. Little wonder that they failed to notice the fragment of the tiny item. Oh, you all suspect if you don't.
Hold it!
Seaman Stroganoff? Nina is a woman of sea. She is daughter of strong Sarah. Ah, it's his daughter. That's why she was allowed on. 2 years ago, they noticed her dancing skills and she went away to join ballet company. But before, she was dancer on the ship. She was dancer on this ship, a member of the ship's band. Do not accuse the ship's angel of being criminal. Ah, so that's it. You say that when young student died, Nina was there in his cabin. But that is not possible. I give my tooth. Well, this is almost interesting. And why would you give your tooth, pray? How can you be so sure? You are a great detective. You should know. Look Dulce in the eyes. Cabin bulkhead was bolted shut from inside. Nobody could go into cabin. Not Nina. Not anyone. Or you want to tell me that killer can walk through locked doors? Yet, it's impossible. He's right. But wait. I read about this in detective stories. People often tie threads with them. Don't like this. We already disproved this. We know how it happened. Thread? Are you stupid? These bulkheads are not barn doors. Certainly not. These are watertight as one would expect to find in any modern steamship. Constructed of heavy steel, there's not a gap in sight. No threads, or needles, or magnets could have been used. No, of course not. I thought so too. Mr. Naruhodo suggested it earlier, so... Saratosa. How could you just shift it into me like that? So Seaman Stroganoff. A valid point. The cabin door couldn't have been bolted shut from the outside. Not necessarily. What? I put it to you that it could be bolted. I could bolt this cabin door without laying a finger on it. And in this very cabin, we can see traces of the method I have in mind have been used before. I don't believe it. Well, Mr. Naruhodo, I believe you know what I mean, don't you? A way to shut the bolt door of the cabin from outside. One way does spring to mind. Do you really know what Mr. Sholmes means, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes. So should you. Because we've seen it happen. Indeed we have. So, do you care to do the honors, Mr. Naruhodo?
Yes!
Look at the bookcase there. See how all the books and things on it have toppled over? It must have happened when the ship made its emergency stop before. Yes, that's right. It's a very powerful vessel. Engines are thrown into reverse. A violent jolt goes across the entire ship. Any small objects that aren't fastened down are bound to fall over. I believe, yes. That is what's known as the force of inertia, acting on objects. Is there nothing San doesn't know? Is that, or is, that isn't in our book? Well, whatever it's called, the same force that pushed over those books on the bookcase also made something else in the cabin move. The bolt on the cabin door. It was very obvious just after that emergency stopped the shipmate earlier. We had come into this cabin not long before, and we hadn't bolted the door. But then... Hello? Anybody there? Shout if you need assistance. That sounds like... Inspector Hosanaga. Oh, yes. That's it. The ship stopped suddenly. The bolt flew across and locked the door. Yes. It's made of metal, but it's small and light enough to be moved by the ship's sudden change of speed. It was a force of ineptia, if you want to call it. Are you trying to say that last night, after Mr. Asagi was killed, this is Pyramid, and another emergency stop? When I woke up this morning, I looked around the cabin and thought it looked a little odd. All the books on the shelves had toppled over, all the ornaments. It was almost as if someone had run their hand across the shelves deliberately and knocked everything over. Oh yes, I remember that. And I stood them all up again, didn't I? Then when we came into the cabin, we were surprised to see the same thing. All the books and everything had toppled over, just like Mr. Asogi's cabin. Do you have anything to say about this, Miss Pavlova? Are you out of your mind? You say Ambura made emergency stop. It does seem a little far-fetched. How could that possibly have happened? Unless you're saying the culprit is actually someone from the engine. Oh, it seems simple enough. Are you forgetting the button in the passageway outside? Used to trigger the emergency alarm? Oh yes, of course. There was a notice, wasn't there? Telling you to only press the button in times of emergency. Dark nights when the fog is dense. The captain cannot afford to rely on his own eyes, on the eyes of the lookout alone. Hence, the placement of a number of buttons around the vessel to allow any of the crewmen to raise the alarm. This sort of button is one almost compelled to press to satisfy one's curiosity. Wait, it was you? When the button is pressed, two things happen in the interest of safety. The emergency alarm bell rings, and the vessel comes to a complete stop. As indeed it did a little earlier today. Sholmes! Mr. Sholmes? Surely it wasn't you who... As I always say, a button has but one purpose in life. To be pressed whatever the occasion. Whatever the occasion. He sounds almost proud of himself. How dare you mess with me? I report you to Captain. You are in much trouble now. Now, I'm sure that all can be waited until later. Let us not overlook the fact that we have now learned a valuable lesson. When a vessel makes an emergency stop, the bolts of the cabin doors slides close. So, what must we now consider? Yes, it all comes down to one thing. Last night, after what happened to Mr. Asoki, did the ship make an emergency stop? Or did it? You are idiots. Yoda's huge ship with many passengers. If we make emergency stops, even make in the middle of night, there would be no chaos everywhere. What are your thoughts, Mr. Naruhodo? Well, it's certainly possible. Some kind of emergency happened last night. We have evidence to support that idea. Really? What evidence, Mr. Naruhodo? Fascinating. Do show us, my good man. What evidence prompts the theory that some emergency gripped this vessel last night?
Yes!
Seaman Stroganoff. It's your duty to patrol the first-class area of the ship. Isn't that right? That is correct. Why? In the ship's log here, it'd be where you record the details of your duties. What are you doing with that? That is mine. Ah, you rather carelessly left it atop a little makeshift bureau in the passageway out there. But as responsible passengers, we took it in our care with a mind to return it to you later. I left it out there on purpose. That is where I put it always. The point is, looking at what you usually record, it's clear that under normal circumstances, you write nothing to report every 30 minutes. But from 2 o'clock last night until the first light this morning, nothing was recorded at all. Nothing recorded in the log? That is, that. Because nothing happened. But if nothing happened, you would normally write nothing to report, wouldn't you? Indeed so. Which tells us that shortly after 2 a.m. something happened here aboard the SS Bureau.